Been absolutely dear. Right, let's pop this back on. Please, for the love of God, sample. Welcome back, guys, to another video. In today's video, I'm just going to be showing you my current obsessions when it comes to fragrances. Some of these actually might surprise you guys. A few of these actually surprised me. I never thought I would like kind of go back into loving them as much as I do, or wearing them as much as I have. If you like this style of video, please give a like, subscribe down below, road to 10,000 subs. And before I get into the video, by the way, you can skip this part because it's a bit rambling, but I was thinking of like different ways I can be different on YouTube. Do I really, want to be doing just fragrances for the rest of my time on YouTube? Potentially what I could do is maybe have a second channel. I don't know how you guys feel about that. And the reason why I'd want to do a second channel is just kind of showcase different parts of my life, not just fragrances, because I think a lot of people just assume that I just love fragrances and that's it, but I have a lot of other, hobbies that I'm really interested in, potentially like beauty, house reno. I don't know if you guys are into like house renovations, vlog style, potentially like clothing. Is that something that you'd want to watch? I don't know whether I'm too boring for those types of things, or more vlog style, more lifestyle. There's a lot of things that I really enjoy, and sometimes on the fragrance side of things, maybe you don't get to see that part of me, and that's why I really enjoy doing the vlog style of videos. If you haven't watched already, I have done a vlog in London. I'm potentially going to do another one, not next week, but the week after, because I'm seeing a few friends in London. Potentially I'll do a little bit more fragrance shopping there. Really want to see that side of me? Then let me know down in the comments. Am I just brainwashed into thinking that you guys will enjoy that? I have no clue, but I am really blessed. I have to say this, and I'm getting a little bit tearful, but I know I don't have like a large following on YouTube, at least not in comparison to maybe other YouTubers out there, but what I do have is I have a wonderful community. All of you guys are so supportive and lovely to me. I never ever get any bad comments, and I don't know whether that's pure luck or whether that's just the community that I've built on YouTube. I've been possibly invited to some opportunities that I never thought in my life that I would ever be invited to. Not next Wednesday, but the Wednesday after, I'm going to an Ormonde event, which will be really fun, and I do have the chance to, purchase some new bottles that I want to add to my collection and stuff like that. Like, I wouldn't have ever been invited to those types of events if it wasn't for you guys, and you all know how much I've loved a lot of these brands for many, many years. For all of you that have followed me for some years on YouTube, I have also grown a lot as a person in comparison to how I used to be. I used to be really nervous, like I used to talk really slowly, or I would just be really weird on camera, and since then I've gained a lot of confidence through you guys and you guys supporting me. So I don't know if you guys have also seen that change in me. I feel a little bit more comfortable whenever I'm filming, and I just feel like myself. So for everyone who supported me through the years, I just have to really thank you guys for bearing with me, because I know that I used to be really weird and awkward on camera, and I feel like I've kind of found my footing now when it comes to YouTube. And yeah, I just wanted to thank you guys. And again, I'm going to stop with the rambling and we'll go straight into the video. So the first fragrance that I have is Levant from Ormonde, and this is one that surprised me. I know a lot of you guys know, but I didn't really used to. It's not like I disliked the fragrance, I just didn't find it as beautiful as maybe Damask or Taïf. Le Route Le Soir collection, which is all kind of based around the Silk Road. Levant for me didn't smell overly unique, or it wasn't really a fragrance that I personally gravitated towards. However, when they sent me this some weeks ago now, so this is a travel spray of Levant, I was actually shocked how much I really enjoyed it. As it's gotten a bit cooler in the UK, I just feel like it cuts through the cold really, really well, and that I associate it maybe with the brightness of this fragrance. So it has lots of citruses and bright notes in the top, and alongside that, a lot of the fragrances in this collection tend to have almost like a black currant white musk running through it. That is what's cutting through the cold. Also has a beautiful powderiness to it, but the best way that I can describe this fragrance to you guys, to my nose, which I don't know whether might sound a bit strange, but it smells like sliced apples that are just floating in raspberry gin. It has that gin-like quality where it's very fresh, zesty, and it has that underlying sweetness from the fruit. I'm pretty sure that it has some type of patchouli or some woody note in the base, but it's really hard to get that out of the fragrance. Mostly what I'm getting is just fresh, bright fruits alongside this clean white musk that's running throughout the entirety of the fragrance. And I know a lot of women love this fragrance. Like, I think probably Ormonde's bestseller, and I think they also won an award recently, like Tatler's best fragrance of 2024, which I can definitely understand. This is a really versatile fragrance, signature scent worthy. And in fact, I know that it is really ultra feminine, just with it being, you know, a bit more fresher and fruity and floral. But my partner really, really loves it. He enjoys his citrus types of fragrances. That's kind of more the olfactory groups that he enjoys, like citrus, mineralistic, aquatic. And something about this smells amazing on his skin, which I was a little bit jealous about. It does have other florals in here. I believe it has peony, rose, and that's adding to its femininity. But overall, I definitely now see the hype behind this fragrance. I do also have a discount code. I think it's for 10% off, which in the grand scheme of things is actually quite decent. For the price, I think this is 175 for like an 88-90 ml. And with that 10% off, it's practically nearly £20 off the fragrance, which is, I think, is quite a good deal. If you guys are interested, just use Pika Scent for the discount code on the Ormonde website. Travel size, which I have here, which I think is only like £35, or the bigger bottle, you can use that discount code. So that is a Levant from Ormonde. Now, again, running with that theme of fragrances that I did love, or I did like to begin with, but have now become a true love. I have to say Vanille Fatale has really made my obsession list. I've always attributed this fragrance to being just winter only, and I think because of the heaviness in this fragrance, it is a really gooey, thick vanilla. Alongside that, it has boozy notes, so I believe it has rum in the top, but the best way that I always describe this fragrance, to me it smells like cognac, cinnamon, and it has like a gooey molasses in the bottom. It's very thick, lots of layers to it and lots of notes going on in this fragrance. Probably one of the most complex fragrances out of the Tom Ford private line, and I know that they've recently rebranded this specific line. They have slightly different looking bottles, and I wonder whether I maybe have like an older formulation of it and whether they've like reformulated the fragrances, because they've been bought out for quite some years now. Having said that though, this is such an amazing fragrance. I've been wearing it like a madwoman recently, and I think because now I'm getting more booziness, whereas before I thought it just smelled like literal vanilla extract. Now, the more times that I wear it, the more complexity I find within the fragrance. So that's coming from the boozy notes, the spicy notes. I believe there's even like saffron in the beginning. It's like a very sweet spice that you find, and I just think it's a masterpiece when it comes to Tom Ford private line. A lot of their fragrances have been discontinued, so I really hope that they keep this one on board. And as I said, I've just been wearing it crazily. I even did like a TikTok recently. By the way, following me on TikTok, I think it's literally just Pika Scent. So for anyone who's interested, you can follow me there. For the longest time, I was always a little bit hesitant when it came to TikTok. I don't even have it for me personally, and that's just because of all of the things that I was hearing about it. So I always avoided TikTok as a platform, but honestly, for fragrances, it's been life-changing. My eyes have been opened when it comes to the fragrance community on TikTok. It's crazy to me. So yeah, if you want to follow me there, I did do a layering combo with this alongside Dior Addict, and I think that is what surprised me. Yeah, if you guys have never tried Vanille Fatale, try to get your hands on the old formulation if you can, and this is a wonderful autumnal winter fragrance. Now from a brand that I absolutely adore, Xerjoff. You guys know I've already done 2 videos just primarily focusing on them, and one fragrance that I've been absolutely obsessed with for the past, I have to say, at least 3 or 4 months is Elle, and it isn't the Elle anniversary, the 1717. This is the original Elle formula. Now the anniversary Elle is really beautiful. I got to try it recently on the 6th floor, and the bottle itself is just insane. I mean, if you guys have seen it, it's probably the most girly, beautiful bottle I've ever seen. It's part of their stone collection, so in the center you almost have like a quartz type of beveling, and then on top of that you have like gold foiling around the bottle. It's like a pinkish bottle. Absolutely beautiful. I mean, you can't really say anything about the design. But what I found really interesting is that the original Elle and the Elle Anniversary to me smelled very different. The Elle Anniversary smelled much more floral and brighter. It had, to me, from what I remembered, like lots of peony and rose in the beginning. I could be talking absolute nonsense, by the way, but to me it was a very bright peony type of fragrance. Very much reminded me of Pivot and Suzu from Armani. However, the original Elle to me smells very different. Camera just died again. So the original Elle to me smells almost leaning, hear me out, like a little bit more of a gourmand fragrance, like a fruity gourmand. And I know that technically that's not like the olfactory group that it's within. So in the top, from memory, I think you have like some orange blossom, in the mid you have iris, and then in the base you have lots of benzoin, different resins that are going on in this fragrance. What I found really nice is that the benzoin sometimes benzoin can smell very vanillic, and for the vanilla accord or the amber accords to be made, typically benzoin is used alongside labdanum, etc. So for me, this smelled very vanillic, sweet, powdery, sugary, and then obviously the iris gives like a powdery element to the fragrance, but also like a bit of butteriness. You definitely get a bit of the orange blossom in the beginning, but to me, I also get some type of fruitiness, and God knows where I'm getting it from. I don't think it is coming from citruses. To me, I'm getting it almost from like a strawberry or a raspberry accord. And again, I could be totally wrong, but that is what I remembered. Obviously I don't have the song because I used all of it. And it's not like, for example, I know a lot of people hype up La Capitale from Xerjoff, and I do think it's a nice fragrance, but for me it didn't work. It had a strawberry accord and it smelled very gasoline-like. I don't know whether it smelled a little bit too artificial to my nose, whereas Elle, for some reason, just really has almost like that strawberry raspberry accord without it smelling gasoline-like or petrol-y or synthetic in any type of way. So I think out of all of the fragrances for women, alongside Lua and Cambridge Club, etc., this is one of the best feminine fragrances that they have, and I would almost say that it's blind buy worthy. But obviously you guys know my channel, I would never ever recommend to blind buy. Please, for the love of God, some, because unless if I don't truly love the fragrance, then I'm just not going to waste my money and blind buy it. So anyway, all of this to say, probably the most versatile feminine fragrance out of the Xerjoff line. Obviously you have other ones like JTC 400, Shanquan, lots of beautiful fragrances, but out of the Stone label, I think Elle is probably the most signature scent, easygoing fragrance that they offer for women. So yeah, that is Elle from Xerjoff. So the next fragrance that I have might not come as a surprise. I know a lot of you guys know how much I love this fragrance. So this is Cairo from Penhaligons. This is probably one of the most beautiful rose saffron fragrances out there. It technically is a little bit more woody leaning, so it does have cedar and other woody elements like sandalwood, oud accords, but to me this is just really an amazing rose saffron fragrance. I think it was created by Christopher Renaud, and out of all of the Penhaligons fragrances, this to me is probably the best performer. Halfeti used to perform really well, but I think since it being potentially reformulated, it hasn't lasted as well as what it used to. This, on the other hand, the reason why you probably don't see such a big dent, I hardly need to use anything. Like, quite literally, guys, 3 to 5 sprays of this will last me from day till night. It sounds crazy, but it really is that long lasting, and it projects really well as well. So typically what I do with this one, I either wear it very sparingly, so not to like obviously overwhelm anyone in my space. I layer it with another rose fragrance on top, and I think one of you saw my shorts recently and I was recommending you like all different types of fragrances to layer it with. You can layer it with Ready for Rosé from Veronique Goodbye, Taillis from Ormonde Jayne, another one which is Arabesque from Ormonde Jayne. I'm just wondering what other ones. There's all sorts of fragrances that you can layer this with. I think as long as it's fruity, rosy and bright in the top, then I think this layers well with anything. Apart from that, I've tried to layer it with other kind of olfactory groups, and to me it hasn't layered that well. So anything, whenever you're layering, guys, this is just I mean, maybe this is just common sense, but I tend to find if there's a dominant note within the fragrance, always layer it with another dominant note in the top. Otherwise, you tend to have like a little bit of a muddled type of layering combo. But anyway, this is a really wonderful fragrance. It also has cypriol in it, and I really love cypriol because it kind of gives like this eau de cour to the fragrance. And out of all of the fragrances from Penhaligons, this to me really smells the most rich and luxurious. I absolutely adore this, and I'm so glad that I got the bigger bottle. I think if I had the smaller 30 ml, I would have been a little bit disappointed. And I did buy this in York in one of my vlogs for a discounted price. I went to like the York outlet and it was a really great price at the time. So if you ladies or gents ever want to try a saffron rose fragrance that is really beastly and has great performance, I would recommend that you have Cairo from Penhaligons. Last but certainly not least, again, this might be one that you might find a little bit interesting or you wouldn't have thought I'd be obsessed with it. So this is, oh god, is the thing backwards? I just realized that the label, it's the wrong way around. Maybe I need to do it like this. My bad. My bad, dear. Right, let's pop this back on. So this is La Nuit Tresor Les Parfums. So this is the flanker of La Nuit Tresor. I know that there's been a lot of flankers. This to me is my favorite, and I do really love the original gourmand type of vibe when it comes to La Nuit Tresor. I think it was really ahead of its time. The only thing is, I had the bottle from when it launched. I think it was like 2018, maybe it would have been back then, and I felt like it's definitely been reformulated. When I first bought La Nuit Tresor, that thing was beastly. Like, genuinely guys, if I sprayed more than 3 sprays on myself, I could smell myself from 2 meters away, and other people could as well. Since then, I feel like it's become a little bit more diluted and also a little bit sweeter, but maybe in the wrong way, like a watery sweetness, whereas this one I thought was amazing. I thought that this one was truer to the original formulation of La Nuit Tresor, but with a little bit less of a gourmand take on it. So this has a lot more cacao. This has like other silky rose Damascus notes in this. Alongside that, you also have patchouli and some other woody notes, and obviously the blackcurrant in the beginning. But what I found really nice about this is that it didn't have like that praline chocolatiness that you find in the original. It has more of a cacao powderiness that gives this sweet element without it being sickly sweet or without it being too gourmand. This to me is almost like a love child between the original La Nuit Tresor and Soie Maliki from Dries Van Noten. It has that silky grown-up Damascus rose as well as that cacao in the base. And I honestly think that Soie Maliki was probably influenced by La Nuit Tresor. I think a lot of people assume when they have like a niche or a luxury designer fragrance that they're entirely unique, that they've not got it from anything else. But a lot of the time they do get inspiration from designer, really big designer fragrances that are doing very well. This one is just a wonderful fragrance, very cocooning. To me, it smells very mature and sexy. I absolutely love this, and I do layer it with other fragrances as well. So if you've never tried this Le Parfum version, then I'd really recommend that you guys give it a go. So yeah, that is La Nuit Tresor Le Parfum. Alright guys, that is it for today's video. I really hope that you enjoyed. Please let me know what you think about like the rambly bit in the beginning. Do you think I should do a second channel? The only thing is that it would be really time consuming. I find YouTube, TikTok, etc. to be time consuming anyway, and I possibly might not have as much time on my hands as I have at the minute. By the way, I might be doing like a second vlog in London, so I'm going to be going to see my friends, but alongside that I'm going to the Ormonde Jayne event, which is, oh, I just still, it's like a pinch me moment, but I still don't believe that I'm actually going to it. So potentially I might be doing a vlog there if you guys want to be seeing that. Hey gents watching this video, I am going to be doing an underrated or classic timeless men's fragrance video come next Wednesday, so if that's something that you really enjoyed, keep tuned. And apart from that, I really hope that you guys have an amazing weekend, and I'll see you later.